welcome back. This is Danielle from Explore Yourself Natural. I wanted to hop on really quick and talk about wholesale companies that I utilize to buy like my bulk items from to make products themselves. I was talking to another maker who's newer, and they had asked where I buy all my supplies from. And you can't go into like detail over email, for each supplier. So I just wanted to make a really quick video about it. I think it's something that I wish that I had found a little bit earlier on. Obviously, you want to try to purchase from as many suppliers as you can to try them out, because you might find a gem that you didn't realize if you only stuck to the same supplier. And I don't mean go out and buy all the things there, but if there's something that you see and you want to try it, buy the smallest increment that they have available and try it out, because you might be missing out from that particular supplier. Before I get into these, I also wanted to talk about finding suppliers that are as close to you as possible. So most of these suppliers, for the most part, are on the East Coast. So I am from Massachusetts, in a small town of North Attleboro. So I am about 30 to 40 minutes away from Boston and about 10 minutes away from Providence. So I lie right on the Rhode Island border. So when I try to find suppliers, I try to find them all on the East Coast. So for shipping purposes, they're not coming from West Coast, essentially. I'll buy from wherever, but if I'm going to be buying from the same supplier all the time and I really like their product, I try to make it a point to have them as close as possible to me, so that I'm not waiting, 7 to 14 days for supplies to get here. So with that being said, a lot of these are companies that most of you have heard of. There might be a couple that you haven't. I do have some local stores as well, as opposed to like wholesale places that I found really good price points at. But my first one is going to be Wholesale Supplies Plus. I love Wholesale Supplies Plus. I think that's one of the best suppliers to start out with. So if you are a new maker, I would highly recommend purchasing from there first. Price point is not ideal. I think that you can find some suppliers that are a lot less expensive, especially in the last couple of years. Their prices have definitely climbed, probably more than they should, but they own pretty much everywhere now. So I guess they can kind of do what they want. But back to Wholesale Supplies Plus. They have a little bit of everything. So you can get to try out different, if you do like melt and pour, there's so many different bases there. They have a bunch of different clays that you could try out, like jojoba beads and dried flowers, lotion bases, soap. They just have so many different things that you can try. And then if you find something you like, try to find it at a better price point from a different supplier. But at least you're not going like here, there, and everywhere when you start out. You're starting at one supplier, you're only paying for one shipping, and you get to try different product and decide what you do and don't like, or how you want to move forward. Wholesale Supplies Plus is in Ohio. So I'm in Massachusetts, so not too far away. They ship to me fairly quickly. I know during the pandemic it was a whole nother ball game, but typically when I order, unless it's like a crazy sale, my orders are shipped out 1 to 2 business days. So usually it's here within like a week's time itself. So I really like that supplier to try stuff out, and also to try out packaging from there as well. So like different bottles you want to try out. They do have a lot of bottles to sample from, but you can find those exact bottles at different suppliers at a lower price point. But at least you can try it, say I like this type of bottle, and then find it a little bit less expensive from another one. So like bottles would be really good to get there, and soap boxes as well. So that's another thing that they offer, a lot of different options, so you can try them all out type of thing. Sometimes they even have like sampler bundles, so they'll have like 10 or 12 like different soap boxes, and you can try them all out. Or the same, I don't know if they do it with bottles anymore. They used to. I don't know if they do anymore though. The next one would be bulk ApoTHecary. I love them. They're one of my favorite suppliers. That was like the first supplier that I fell in love with, and I was like, I'm only going to buy from here for the most part. Mainly because a lot of my product that I use, I do all natural bath and body. So most of my products, it's like a one-stop shop for me. Essential oils, bottles, herbs, that type of thing, botanicals, butters, they're all there. So for me, it worked out a lot. Price point's not always ideal though, so you do need to shop around. But for plastic bottles and jars, bulk ApoTHecary, if you're not buying in extreme bulk, like you want to buy 100 or 250 at a time, bulk is where to go when it comes to plastic bottles. Their essential oils are really good. They use Nature's Oil, I think is the name of the essential oil. And it's a really good quality. They third-party test. I like them a lot, but their prices can be on the higher end at times, but the quality is really good. So if I'm shopping for bottles and I need an essential oil, I'll totally buy it from bulk ApoTHecary as well. I don't think I'd necessarily, if I needed to buy a large quantity of essential oils, that's all I was really going to purchase, I would go somewhere else, but they have unbelievable essential oils as well. And carrier oils are pretty good, but sometimes, like I said, price point can be a little bit higher at times. Still a really great place to shop. I buy from there regularly, especially bottles and jars and lip balm tubes from there as well. The next one that I have, oh, and they are based out of Ohio. So you're gonna see a lot of the larger ones are actually in the Ohio area that I shop from, but for shipping purposes, they're really quick. They get to me within 2 to 3 days. And shipping's a little less expensive as opposed to if I was having an item shipped from like the West Coast. The next one is Nature's Garden or Nature's Garden Candles. I don't really know the technical name. Everything says Nature's Garden, but the website is Nature's Garden Candles. They are based out of Ohio. I've only shopped from them a couple times because they're really like candle and fragrance oil based. I don't use fragrance oils. I've probably only ever used fragrance oils in products like 2 to 3 times ever, and I didn't like the outcome. I didn't like the smell. It bothered me. I'm super sensitive to scent, funny enough. But what I did get from there, I did like, and a lot of other makers recommend it. So I just wanted to throw that out here because it was Ohio based as well. The next one is Brambleberry. I love Brambleberry. All of my 5-pound soap molds are from Brambleberry. Products are great. You get high quality, price points on the higher, but you get what you pay for sometimes. I've heard that with fragrance oils. Like I said, I don't use fragrance oils, but I have heard people say like, they're top notch. You get what you pay for with those. They're based out of Washington. I only ever go to Brambleberry if I absolutely have to. If I need to get another mold, I have like the wooden molds that slide out and they have a silicone liner in it. It's the only place I'll get like larger ticket items would be from them. So I get my soap molds from them and I get most of my clays from them. I have tried bulk, Wholesale Supplies Plus, Nature's Garden. I don't dislike their clays by any means. The quality is different. I will say that. The quality is different. So I would rather pay a little bit more because I use so much clay in my product for coloring. Like, I'm okay to pay a little bit more for that because I know I'm getting a true clay and not something else because, it is what it is. But Brambleberry is in Washington. I get all of my soap molds from there and most of my clays, almost all the time, especially like my colored clays, I get from there. But I have got from other suppliers. And if you're looking to try different fragrance oils that stick from what I see on like Facebook groups and stuff like that, Brambleberry is one of the best you can get. hearsay. I don't know personally, but people say that. The next one is somewhere local to me. It's called Jedwards International. They're based out of Massachusetts, so they're about a 40-minute drive from me. They offer a lot of all natural, organic. They are on the higher price point, but because I don't have to have it shipped, it kind of evens out. The only thing with that is they're based out of Braintree. They offer local pickups, but you have to have a dock level truck. So you can't just bring like your husband's pickup truck to pick it up. You do need to have the correct vehicle to be able to pick up from them. I'm lucky enough that my husband does have a dock level like flatbed truck, so we were able to purchase from them a couple times. But you gotta like schedule your pickup. You gotta make sure you do it the right way. You can't just like show up when you want. Products are really, really good. A lot of higher end butters and oils. If you're local to Massachusetts, somewhere in New England, you're looking to, take like a quick ride up to Mass or Boston, definitely check them out. I couldn't vouch for shipping time with them because I've never shipped with them. I've only picked up a local order. They've really, I mean, the oils and butters are just superior to a lot of other wholesalers, in my personal opinion. The next one is Directions Aromatics. So they're based out of Canada, Ontario, but they're still on like the east part of North America, essentially, and they ship so fast. Like their shipping is super, super cheap, and it could just be because of like where I'm located. Super cheap. They ship, like their orders are shipped out in 24 hours, and their essential oils are prime. Like I absolutely love Directions Aromatics. Really good quality, an amazing price. I shop back from bulk ApoTHecary and Directions Aromatics. Some can be the exact same price, but some can be really, really big in difference. So I typically buy a 5-pound canister. So I'll show you the difference in sizing for my essential oils and what I mean by that. Okay, so this would be a 5-pound container cylinder from bulk ApoTHecary Nature's Oil, like I was talking about. So this is a 5-pound container. I get a lot of these for main essential oils I use: lemon, lavender, lemongrass, Litsea, eucalyptus, things that I use regularly, peppermint. So this would be considered like a 5-pound. So you can get these at bulk. I like these. You can save a lot of money utilizing these. And then I just fill up the 16 ounce. So this is a 5-pound. And this is a 16 ounce. This one's from Directions Aromatics. So you can see the difference in size, but sometimes you can save a lot of money. And even this is huge. Like just, I know it doesn't look big, but like this is coffee. You can see how large they are. 16 ounces. Like you're getting a lot of essential oil. So price point wise, some of them you can get like a 5-pound and save like $20 or $30. Sometimes they only offer like 16 ounce. It just depends on where you're going. I definitely compare. So sometimes I'll go on and shop between bulk ApoTHecary and Directions Aromatics. Price points sometimes are crazy, depending on like the time of the year, where that essential oil is coming from, and really just like where they're buying the oils from. So I definitely go back and forth between them and price them out. But their essential oils are amazing, and their price points are great. Like I would recommend them to anybody who's seriously buying essential oils on a regular basis in bulk. Directions Aromatics. And then the next one is Mountain Rose Herbs. So I utilize them not so much for their oils and butters. They do have some nice product. Price point you can find better for the same quality from what I have found, but they have some really good herbs, like really, really good herbs. If you're not looking to make your own like hydrosols, that type of thing, which is super fun. I mean, that's the most exciting part for me when I'm buying an herb is like what I can do with it. Can I make a hydrosol or an infusion with it? But if you're not looking to do those things and you just want to have the product already made, mountain rose herbs are awesome. So you can buy the hydrosol, that type of thing there, and their prices are really good and their quality is amazing. So mostly like herbs is what I get from them. And the next one is Amazon, with the caveat of buying something small and trying it out. So I know sometimes you can buy like stuff that you could get from like Crafter's Choice or Wholesale Supplies Plus. You could try it out. If you didn't like it, you can return it with no issue at all, as opposed to if you buy like a sampler from Wholesale Supplies Plus, you can't return it, you just have it. So I'm not saying like use it, but what I'm saying is you can go on there, you could try like that soap box out, you know, put it together, see if your soap fits. If it doesn't, you can return it, type of thing. I'm not saying like use the product and then return it, you know what I mean? But you can't, at least you don't lose out on money, as opposed to if you bought it from Wholesale Supplies Plus, you can't just return it. Or if you did, you'd probably have to pay for shipping, and then it defeats the purpose at the end. So those are my favorite larger suppliers: Wholesale Supplies Plus, Bulk ApoTHecary, Nature's Garden Candles, Brambleberry, Jedwards International, New Directions Aromatics, Mountain Rose Herbs, and Amazon, with that caveat. So 8 to choose from that I use pretty regularly. There's so many more, but like I said, I don't utilize micas and fragrance oils, so I can't make a recommendation for all of those companies that utilize them, because I don't use them. Like I said, I've only used fragrance oils. Maybe 3 times I've tried it. I've never used a mica. I've never used like, I've used oxides before. So I couldn't make that recommendation because I've honestly never bought from them. So it's just not really fair to recommend a company if I've never actually utilized them. For smaller, not smaller, but like local places that a lot of people have the option for buying would be BJ's. So like your local BJ's warehouse, I think is what it's called. I buy baking soda from them. They have like the big bags of baking soda for a fairly good price, cheaper than if you bought it like Wholesale Supplies Plus, even Bulk ApoTHecary. It's the cheapest I found around. For sugar, so a lot of makers use white sugar, pretty cheap there. You can buy them in 50-pound bags. But if you're using like an unrefined sugar, like turbinado sugar, which I utilize, they're the larger granules, they're the unprocessed sugar itself, so it's like the raw sugar. You can buy it there. Super, super expensive, but it's one of the cheapest places I have found was at BJ's, and there's a supplier on Amazon I found for a little bit cheaper, and it's free shipping. They come in 4-pound bags as opposed to an 8-pound bag, and I will link that below because the product was pretty good and the price point was good. So those are the only things I buy at BJ's. I used to buy, pre-COVID, I would buy my olive oil there, but olive oil is just skyrocketed in price, and it's just not an option for me to get it at BJ's anymore. They have grapeseed oil there, decent price, but if you're looking to buy less than the 5-pound or 8-pound gallons. The next would be Sam's Club. I don't have a local Sam's Club, unfortunately. The closest one is in New Hampshire. It's about 2 hours away. So I could make the trip up there, but I usually just have it delivered. So I had found them in about 2020 during everything that was going on, because olive oil was so hard to find and the prices were starting to get a lot higher. So I did find olive oil at the time was $9.98. Or it was actually $7.98, and then up to 2022, I think it jumped to like $9.98. So for a whole gallon of it was like $8 to $10. Now, unfortunately, that same bottle is $17.48. So it went up to 17 cents an ounce, which is still fairly inexpensive compared to a lot of other suppliers, unfortunately. But when you're paying the 17 cents an ounce, if you're not picking it up locally, you're paying to ship it. So if I was buying 12 at a time, I would have to pay $60 to ship it. So it bumps my price per ounce up a lot. But if you do have a Sam's Club local to you, I would recommend looking into them if you're not buying like drums of oil at this time. Price point's pretty decent. And the next one that I found was Walmart. The olive oil at Walmart is, if you're buying, the only one that I have found is the, unfortunately, it stinks in regards to packaging, the classic olive oil in the 17-ounce container. So it is the smaller one. It's not the larger ones. The larger ones are a lot more per ounce. The 17-ounce is 19 cents an ounce. So a little bit more than Sam's, but if you're paying for the shipping, it's obviously the cheapest that I have found locally if you're not buying large quantities. It stinks that you have to buy a lot of 17-ounce bottles, but right now, price point is key. I'm still getting good quality, and I don't have the ability to buy more than 50 pounds at a time. I just don't have the storage for it. Controlled, climate controlled area. So locally, BJ's, Sam's Club, and Walmart. So those are the ones I found. I hope that there's a supplier that you haven't heard of that I recommended. If you have any recommendations, especially for people who don't make like all natural, if you can attest to fragrance oils or micas, feel free to leave them in the comments below to make those recommendations. I know that people talk a lot about certain ones, but I haven't personally bought from them, so I just don't think I should be making those recommendations if I haven't utilized them. So if you have, leave them below for other makers to find. You can chit chat about the best places to buy fragrance oils, micas, that type of thing. Be greatly appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know everything, far from, but if I know something, I'm happy to share with you. And I'm also learning a lot from you guys as well, which is really, really exciting. On one of my shipping videos, I had some really good recommendations on other ways to ship or to find shipping supplies. So thank you all so much. I'm actually going to insert a minute or two of a market that I just did. Local to me was an amazing way to start the year off right with markets. It was right in Rentham. The booth fee was $75, which is a little bit steep here. I'm okay spending it if I know I'm going to make a decent amount, but I've never been there, and I had already committed to 3 other dates with them. So I was a little bit nervous, but I did amazing. Like, I'm so thankful. I had a ton of regulars come out. I got to meet a lot of new people. I met my goal. I surpassed my goal, which is great, which is always the 10 times the booth fee. And I'm just so excited to get back into the market. So I might do a couple more talking videos as opposed to making videos, because editing takes so long, and I am going to be quite busy for the next couple months. So again, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to hearing recommendations for everybody, or where you found the best priced products.